Imagine a bird capable of doing something we once believed belonged only to humans, using fire as a tool. Across the dry landscapes of northern Australia, there are raptors that don't just endure wildfires, they intentionally spread them. But why would a bird carry burning sticks? How did this behavior evolve, and what does it reveal about the intelligence of these remarkable species? Today, you'll discover the fascinating story of the so-called firehawks, birds that challenge everything we thought we knew about animal behavior. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more documentary-style stories about the extraordinary world of birds. For decades, people living in northern Australia reported strange fire patterns appearing far from storms or human activity. Whenever these sudden flames emerged, black kites and brown falcons were often seen circling above the smoke. At first, it sounded like coincidence or folklore, but repeated observations revealed a consistent pattern. The birds picked up smoldering sticks in their beaks or talons and dropped them onto dry grass, triggering new ignition points. As small animals fled the expanding fire line, the raptors swooped down to capture them with ease. This unusual strategy drew the attention of scientists who began documenting the behavior carefully, trying to understand whether it was instinct, learned cooperation, or a rare example of deliberate tool use in the wild. For indigenous communities in Australia, this behavior was never a mystery. For generations, Aboriginal elders described birds intentionally spreading fire to flesh out prey, calling them partners in the natural cycle of burning and renewal. Their stories spoke of raptors waiting at the edges of controlled berms, then carrying glowing sticks to ignite new patches of dry grass. These accounts were often shared in oral tradition, not as legends but as practical knowledge of the land. When scientists finally began studying the phenomenon, they found that many details perfectly matched what these communities had observed for centuries. The alignment between cultural knowledge and modern research became a powerful reminder that some of the most extraordinary natural behaviors are known first by those who live closest to the environment. Wildfires reshape the landscape in seconds, and firehawks take advantage of this shifting terrain. When flames consume dry vegetation, insects, reptiles, and small mammals flee in exposed directions, creating feeding opportunities that do not exist under normal conditions. By starting secondary fires, the birds extend these openings, creating new fronts where prey must escape. This strategy is not random. The birds often position themselves along the edges of the fire line, where visibility is clearer and escape routes are predictable. The expanding burn gives them access to prey scattered over a larger area, increasing their chances of successful hunting. Researchers now see this behavior as a deliberate way to manipulate the environment, turning fire into a reliable tool for survival. One of the most intriguing questions raised by this behavior is whether firehawks act alone or coordinate their actions. Field observers have reported moments where several raptors gather near an active burn, each waiting for the right moment to strike. In some cases, multiple birds carry smoldering sticks almost simultaneously, creating new ignition points across a wide area. While it is difficult to prove intentional cooperation, these synchronized actions suggest that the birds may learn from one another or respond to the same environmental cues. Young raptors have been seen watching adults during fires, possibly absorbing techniques through observation. Whether individual or collective, the result is the same, a highly effective hunting method that reshapes the surrounding landscape. Researching birds that manipulate fire is far from simple. Wildfires are unpredictable, and documenting them safely requires coordination between scientists, firefighters, and land managers. Many observations occur in remote regions where access is limited and weather conditions change quickly. Researchers often rely on long-range lenses, drones, or interviews with local communities to fill gaps in direct data. Even when a firehawk is seen carrying a burning stick, capturing that moment on camera is rare making every piece of evidence valuable. The difficulty of gathering consistent footage has slowed scientific progress, leaving many questions unanswered. Yet each confirmed observation strengthens the case that these birds are not merely reacting to fire, but actively shaping its path to suit their needs. Understanding how such a risky behavior evolved requires looking at the landscape these birds inhabit. Northern Australia experiences seasonal fires that shape ecosystems year after year. Raptors living in these regions have long relied on fire-created openings for easier hunting. Over countless generations, individuals that learned to approach the fire line gained access to concentrated prey, improving their chances of survival. The step from following fire to spreading it may have emerged gradually through trial, error, and observation. Birds able to exploit this tool would pass on their success, reinforcing the behavior within local populations. While still considered rare, fire use fits into a broader pattern of opportunistic intelligence seen in many birds of prey, highlighting how adaptable they can be in harsh environments. Firehawks demonstrate behaviors that go well beyond simple instinct. They show an ability to recognize how fire affects the landscape, anticipate the movement of prey, and time their actions for maximum advantage. Some have been observed hovering near the smoke line, waiting until the fire weakens before diving toward escaping animals. Others retrieve burning sticks with surprising precision, suggesting awareness of both risk and reward. These patterns point to cognitive flexibility, the capacity to solve problems using environmental cues. Similar traits appear in other intelligent birds, like crows and parrots, but firehawks stand out because they manipulate a natural force that most animals avoid. Their actions challenge long-held assumptions about what non-human species are capable of understanding. The actions of firehawks do more than shape their hunting opportunities, they influence the broader ecosystem. By creating new ignition points, these birds can extend the natural fire cycle, affecting plant growth, soil composition, and the distribution of species across the region. Some plants rely on periodic burns to germinate, while others struggle to survive repeated fires. Small mammals and reptiles may face increased pressure in areas where firehawks actively expand burn zones. Yet these fires also create open spaces that attract grazing animals and encourage new vegetation. Scientists are still studying how much of this ecological impact can be traced directly to the birds, but early evidence suggests that their behavior contributes to the dynamic, constantly shifting mosaic of the Australian landscape. Despite numerous eyewitness accounts and growing scientific interest, the fire-spreading behavior of these raptors is still debated. Some researchers want more direct, repeatable evidence to confirm intentional tool use, while others argue that the existing observations already form a compelling pattern. A handful of documented events, including photographs and video captured during controlled burns, show birds carrying smoldering sticks and dropping them into unburned grass. These moments have become key references in the discussion, encouraging more scientists to investigate. The debate itself highlights how little we truly understand about the cognitive abilities of wild animals. As new technology and field methods improve, researchers hope to capture clearer proof and clarify the motivations behind this extraordinary behavior. The idea of a bird using fire still feels unbelievable, yet the evidence continues to grow. Firehawks remind us that intelligence in nature appears in forms we often overlook, shaped not by complexity for its own sake, but by the constant pressure to survive. By turning fire, a force most animals fear, into a hunting tool, these raptors reveal how adaptable and inventive wildlife can be. Their behavior also echoes the questions raised at the beginning of this story. How much more is happening in the natural world that we have not yet recognized? If you'd like to explore more surprising stories about birds and their hidden abilities, feel free to subscribe and continue this journey with us.